Thank you, Lysa. Thank you for my heart place to yours. I think both being mine being my heart place and yours being heart magic, and then I think something to do with the curly hair was a good connection. And then we've discovered we actually have a similar life path, so it was going to happen. It's going to happen. So welcome everybody. Haere mai, from my heart place to your heart place. I'm going to start today. I'm a storyteller, so I'm going to share my story. But first of all, welcoming everyone from the Northern Hemisphere to the Southern Hemisphere and everyone in between to the Solstice Sanctuary. It's been such a joy and so much grace and pleasure and fun co-creating this with Lysa, and I can't wait to do more with her and share what we've co-created together. So like Lysa said, I've come from a health background. My life started with a health journey as a child, and then I found myself working in the health sector. And like many of us, our stories keep coming up to us. Whatever we resist persists, and it did for me. And it persisted with burnouts and mental decline until eventually I thought I needed to do something different because what I was doing was no longer supporting me. And so I just got curious, to be honest. And I got so quiet from that biggest burnout. I call it my Mack truck. And so it had lots of taps on my shoulder and 4x4s in the back of my head. And then eventually I had a Mack truck, which literally put me on my knees. And it's in those times that I was on my knees that my whispers were louder than the crazy lady in the attic. And the whispers were saying to me to care for the carer. And I thought, that's easy. Pedicures and happy thoughts. I can do that. So I said yes. And I started to follow the breadcrumbs. And it was my own healing journey that really took me on the path of creating Heartplace Hospital. So Heartplace Hospital was the place I was looking for when I needed it most. I felt like I jumped off this ship into this big deep ocean, and there was no life raft for me to cling on to. So I feel like Heartplace Hospital was that life raft that so many of us were looking for, and that I've discovered now that so many were looking for. So for about 6 years, Heartplace Hospital was daring to care differently, is what I called it in those days. And it had all different sort of peaks and troughs, and I had several different rebirths, deaths and rebirths. But I think possibly my biggest one was just under 13 months ago when I burnt down my entire business and created a charity. I had some experience as working in a non-government organisation, but certainly no experience as a founder CEO. So my biggest, I'd have to say possibly my biggest rebirth has been the last 12 and a half months. And in that time, the world as we know it has significantly changed yet again. It's going through its own death and rebirth, and that's when I was seeing that we could no longer sustain our health and education system the way that we were delivering it. And so I sat in my magic, and I really listened to those whispers, and my whispers kept telling me that we needed to return back to our innate wisdom, into our more indigenous, I can't get the word out, but our more innate wisdom. I'm going to stick with that. And what it came back to was really looking at community and village living, and us working in collaboration, us working in connection, meeting each other with our expertise. And I thought, how can we revision that in today's world? And I really felt like it was those of us who are carers. So caring for the carers was my message 8 years ago. Those of us who are messengers, who are healers, who are light workers. It is, I kept feeling like it was that we needed to create community, um, create, and the only word that I can use for today's language is a contractor, but what I really want to say is be like Lassie the dog, where we go into spaces and we reorganize those spaces so that they are welcoming these soft, safe lands. That's something that always kept coming up for me, was because when I reached out for help as the helper 8 years ago, it was a big deal, and it was very much I did feel the judgment, and so it's really important to me that we were creating soft space, soft, safe lands for people, and so I knew for now and today that it needed to be places where we walked alongside one another and we could see each other's light, and guided each other. We guided each other and supported each other. And so that's where Heartplace Hospital has grown into. It's grown into, first of all, creating spaces where people have soft, safe lands. They can then reorganize and recalibrate and revision what life looks like for them and for the rest of the world. And so we now support those in caring positions. So we care for the carers, those who are in the front line of our most vulnerable citizens. So those who support our young, our elderly, those who are dying, and those who are unwell. And so that doesn't mean you have to be a conventional or traditional frontline worker. It's those of us who are doing that within parenting roles or within out in our communities. And then supporting them to heal their boundary wounds in that soft, safe land without any judgment, and then to advocate for themselves and others, and then craft a life that really suits them to thrive. Because if we're all thriving, then those around us are thriving. So I have had lots of mountains to climb, and I really appreciate Lisa's words, and they do actually land in my body. It's to me, it's a no is my a no closer to my next yes. So, and it is my anatomy of my calling. Like, it's not something I ever thought would be where I would be at. And Lisa and I were talking about that yesterday. But it's literally in my bones. And I honor anyone else who has had to go to the school of hard knocks to discover that. And feel very honored to hold space for others as they navigate that. So I feel like the solstice is very pivotal for all of us. And I think for you to say your yeses to come today, it must have been, you felt it too. And I just want to be that beacon of hope and that beacon of light, that I've come from literally crawling across the floor, rocking in the corner, to now leading, and I call myself a leader and a founder, and have just come off the back of our biggest fundraiser yet. And just to give some context to that, we're less than a year old, and our fundraising was double of that of a charity that's very well known throughout the whole world. So that was a beautiful gift, but mostly it was around awareness raising for me, that event, and to see Heartplace Hospital, big large sign on our main street, and thousands of people driving past that. The universe actually gave us a really big gift. Our main road had been closed the entire time that sign's been up, so thousands and thousands of people have driven past that sign, and showing people that there is another way for us to create a simple, sustainable, efficient, and effective health and education system. So that's my death and rebirth over and over again a few times, in a very short, succinct story. But what I would love to do now, and it's my honor and privilege and pleasure, is to introduce you to Lysa Black. And I first heard of Lysa was through some of her books. So Lysa's actually an author of several books, and it was her books that I first discovered Lysa. And then I discovered that she was actually, when I made a radical move and moved north, that she was creating spaces. So I was pretty eager to get to one of her events a couple of years ago, and we met in person. And we joke, well, I joke, she had on a skirt that I said, when you've had enough of that skirt, I'd love that skirt. I think that it's a traveling skirt, though. I think it's moved on. So I am manifesting that it does travel back. So we've met in person. We've been in collaboration groups. We've been in community. A lot of people on these screens here today know us both. Many know me and many know just Lysa. So it's lovely to co-create and bring together another large cluster of stars. So I feel very humbled, actually, that I've been part of this collab and co-creation with you, Lysa. And I thank you for that opportunity. And I look forward to more people, my people, your people, feeling more into you today.
Thank you so much, Jacqui. I think the real lived stories of women that we know and respect can reach our hearts more than anything else, because some of you have been witnessing the journey that Jacqui has been on for some time. So I want to begin with some boundaries before we start to play and co-create the magic. For me, as a community creator, I know that all of us have been unseen, unheard, and disrespected many times in our past. And for me, my power amplifies in the presence of a woman who trusts and knows herself. So please feel my deep gratitude being near you today. I want to ask if everyone, it's okay if you don't have your camera on, but if we can play around with the functions of hand raising, that would be really nice so that we can communicate. So if we want to raise our hand and just practice doing that, and we'll do some agreements next. And if someone says something that really moves you today, a lot of the privilege of gathering is actually being able to witness one another. We're going to have some Q&A, we're going to have some shares. So if you want to just heart the comment, if someone's speaking and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm really resonating with this, or I'm really moved by that or inspired, please let's heart that comment. And together we are witnessing one another in a way that we more deeply witness ourselves. Okay, so the invitation for you today is not to listen to anyone else, but to hear your inner voice. So I want to begin with 3 boundaries, and I love honesty because you can feel it when someone's speaking the truth. So whatever you share today, I want to ask you if you would be willing to speak the truth to yourself and here in community together. If you can type into the chat, if you agree to that, or raise your hand, that would be really, really wonderful, just to signify that we can all see and witness that we are all willing to be honest with one another, which is so, so powerful as women. Thank you so much. The second agreement is, when we gather as women, this patriarchal construct that we have been born into would pit women against one another. And the wound of betrayal and competition and comparing is something that, for me, as a community leader with 4 years of leading my feminine business community with some of the beautiful people here, there is absolutely no way on earth that we could ever compare ourselves to one another. And so I really want to invite you to really look at who you have been and who you are becoming. And if you feel anything emerging today that doesn't feel comfortable for you, I want to invite you deep into self-compassion. And if you find communication from someone else challenging for you to hear, you're more than welcome to mute yourself. And you're more than welcome to hold that person in compassion. Where are my compassion lovers? Who loves to hold other people in compassion too? Yes. We're either really good at self-compassion and not the best at showing other people compassion, or, as is more commonly the case, we are very good at offering other people compassion, and it's challenging to offer ourselves. So I invite you into that. Thank you. And the last one is that I have some magical ability to surface things that are held very deeply in the body and bring it to the surface. And I say this with so much grace for myself, because this has also been the trial of my life, that whatever was within other people that they were being dishonest or unaware or unwilling to accept within themselves, it would sometimes surface around me. Very challenging to have me as a daughter for my mother. So much grace for her. Many of the adults felt called out by me when I was a child, and this has continued to be my path in life. For those who are familiar with Women Who Run with Wolves, Clarissa Pinkola Estes, the author, so deeply comforted me when she said, those of us with the more knowing nature are often the ones ostracized and left out. That was my case in my family, in my culture, in my church organization that I'm now liberated from. And so I really meet you as one who has emerged from deep abandonment and being ostracized. And that has given me the medicine of inclusion and community and co-creating belonging. So if you feel something arising today that is shocking, alarming, disturbing, frightening, or scary, I want to invite you to know that you are on new territory. And the newness of that territory might feel a little uncomfortable. And if you can slow down your breath and practice that with me now, really slowly inhaling and really slowly exhaling. Slowness is a way that we can navigate fear and change. Who would be willing to slow down if they felt confronted or alarmed or a little bit nervous today, for me and for you? Thank you. Okay, I think we're ready to invite you to really reflect on your intention. If you want to turn to page 2 of your Solstice Sanctuary guide, you are welcome to look on that right-hand side. We've asked you to really reflect on what your intention is. And if you don't have the guide, it's no problem. Go ahead and reflect now on what is your intention for our Solstice Sanctuary community ritual today. I'm going to be silent for a minute and really invite you to record that down or review what is already down. If you have been able to reflect on that already, you're so welcome to place that into the chat and share with us what is your intention for today. You're welcome to type yours in. I want to honor a few by reading them out in case that nurtures and supports you too. Thank you, Rebecca, for sharing that it's all about connecting with herself and with others. Antoinette, so lovely to have you with us to ground and come back to my true self. Sarah, my intention is to open into more clarity for myself in life and business, next steps in my offerings and bringing my dreams to life. Joe, my intention is letting go and welcoming in. Kim, to care about myself. Another beautiful Kim is healing. Emma is to connect and seek guidance. Paula to build connections and immerse myself in spaces with people I love and admire. New beginnings, baby. I have to put in a little bit of attitude with that or it's not fair, really. Release and receive. Thank you, Danny. Bryony, my intention is to open the floodgates of new energy and growth in my business and life. Just raise your hand or heart this if some of this is really tapping in for you. To tap into your magic. Thank you, Jennifer. Ellie, I feel more trusting and peaceful in the amount of space in my life right now, hearing that, honoring you. Amy, my intention is to release limiting beliefs, fear, and stuckness, to welcome more flow, alignment, and clarity. We have our people. Jacqui, our people have gathered. My intention is to discern my unique pathway out of burnout towards new direction that honors my past and my new culture with native understanding. Honoring you, Laura. Erin, to release all parts of myself that are keeping me in fear, scarcity, overwhelm, and freeze response. Hearing you and loving you. And I'll just read this one last one. To create space and grace for myself and the heaviness I am carrying, to do for those that I love. Thank you, Mary. So deeply moving to witness you all. I want to really acknowledge your voice and your presence and how much it is co-creating Sanctuary. I'm 16 years into business and I've led community professionally for 4 years. And it is astounding for me how much we forget our own wisdom. And today, one of my intentions is to reunite and reconnect you with your insight, the light and wisdom within you. The next is to really allow you to hear your inner voice so very clearly. So, as much as I can be reverent and respectful, be warned, I can be very irreverent and drop sexual innuendo willy-nilly. And I invite forward the truth of who you are and the duality and the polarity that may be. Let's review our itinerary. So we have had our welcome and our introduction. We're going to move now through into the ritual with our 2 items. If you want to bring forward those 2 items, I think it will be really perfect to have them close to you. I think many people saw on social media, I have this beautiful bird skull that my son found at a beach, and it's missing one of the parts here, which I really love. I've traveled with this item on my altar for a very long time, and I honor that which is dead, dying, decaying, and broken. And I have a lotus pod, the Thich Nhat Hanh beautiful quote of "no mud, no lotus." It's a little bit tricky to see, but this beautiful seed pod has one little seed right up here. And many of you will know that lotus are revered for being so powerful because a seed can be dry and stagnant for hundreds of years. And as soon as it is bathed in water, it comes back to life. So that is my intentional item for our rebirth. As we move through this ritual, I'm going to invite you to reflect, because one of the most powerful gifts of solstice here for winter in the Southern Hemisphere and summer for the Northern Hemisphere is that we have very little energy. Who has noticed that they have been more tired lately, more grumpy, more moody, more I don't really care anymore, feeling flat, tired, and heavy? I want to remind you that this is right for now. Many of you will know that women follow a lunar cycle and we're very heavily influenced by the moon, but men are heavily influenced by the solar cycle. So if you are not familiar with the story of winter solstice being the annual death and dying for men and therefore this world. So if you've been noticing a few cracks, if you've been seeing a few errors and mistakes, I sent out a wrong link yesterday, and I was sharing and bemoaning it with my husband. He's like, honey, yesterday I had 3 different companies all send me the wrong links. And I thought, oh, these men are flailing. They're flailing, sending out these wrong links. And it is intentional. This solar pattern of having a day with a very short amount of light and therefore a short amount of energy really calls us to review where are we overgiving, overserving, overextending, and overexpecting from ourselves. So if you want to turn to page 3 and invite forward this beautiful item that is your reflection of what you are releasing, and place it on your paper. And I'm going to say a prayer before we go into this, but I would like to explain what we're doing first. On page 3, I'm talking about how our energy, motivation, and joy are how I confirm for those that I'm in connection and community with that it is our path and our purpose. Anything that sprites you up and makes you feel more magical and alive and enthusiastic is a yes. Therefore, when we are heavy, drained, or overwhelmed, there is something that is no longer a yes for you. And from my heart, I want to confide in you how terrifying it is for a woman to let go of something. I want you to really recall and remember that as women, we are conditioned to be nurturers, parents, and caregivers. All of us are in the caregiving profession, whether that is sound baths or financial advice or bookkeeping, healing, nursing, doctor, psychologist, somatic body worker. When we are in this nurturing predisposition of extending our palms, it denies the truth that half of our nature is here to initiate death. And that has been my calling. And you can imagine how reluctant I have been to be an initiator of death. It's not a fun gig as a woman with very large breasts, no less. I have double G cup breasts, just to get you giggling. So I look very abundant and like I have a lot of supply. But what actually happens, as soon as I moved to Oaxaca, I had my physio who was working on my shoulder ended up quitting and moving because he told me in the first appointment, he's like, why did you move here? He's like, I love the sun. Why are you at the mountain where it's cold? And within a couple of weeks, he had quit his job. And this is very, very common for me that people will meet me and suddenly go, I just can't, like, I cannot do it anymore. And I know that's a privilege, but I also know it's scary. So feel my courage and my bravery fanning your soul flame today. If there is something that is heavy or waiting on you, sister, I give you permission to walk away, leave it. This might look like an offer, a way of showcasing, a way of engaging with your computer or social media or your clients, your customers, or the public at large. You are under no obligation. The moment we remember our dual nature to both nurture and deny nurture, this is how we craft a life that truly nourishes us first and foremost. And as Jacqui said, when we are nourished and abundant, we have the supply to tend to those who are within our jurisdiction. Here we are in the Solstice Sanctuary magic. I'm going to say a prayer and then I'm going to be silent for a few minutes as you deeply listen to yourself and really inquire around what you sense and feel it's time to let go of in your business and or life. I want to acknowledge that I may not know your beloved deity, and for that I am sorry. I love listening to the deep beliefs, and I know that our beliefs are not always heard and respected in many places. If you do not believe in prayer, I invite you to be intentional. If you don't believe in the universe, I invite you to believe in yourself. If I say a word that doesn't resonate, let it drift over your shoulder and waft into the distance. And you may say your own secret silent prayer for yourself in this community that have gathered today as I stand as a representative for us all. Dear Mother, we are so deeply thankful for this time, space together to walk through the passage of the solstice in community. What an honor to gather from so many countries around the world. and to join as people who may not have known one another and who can find kindred connection and solace here. We are deeply thankful for the privilege of being alive and the light that you have given us within. We are so deeply thankful for the paths that we've walked, both the bliss, the beauty, and the harrowing darkness that you have called us into. Thank you. We honor Papatuanuku beneath us and Dangi Nui above, our Mother Earth and our Father Sky. We honor our ancestors and those people who have walked this land before us. We invite forward for every individual here in community today the shining, bright, wise, and noble ancestors who know and love them well. We ask that our minds and our hearts will be open and receptive to the guidance and the insight that is here for us. We ask that our inner light can shine so bright that we cannot doubt or deny it. We ask that we can be courageous and brave as we tell ourselves the truth and invite forward the renewal, rebirth, and regeneration that is here for us in the winter solstice. Please bless our loved ones, our children, nieces, aunties, grandparents, extended family, our communities, our clients, and our nation. We ask for a blessing of peace to be over all peoples of this beautiful star, and ask that the love that resides in us can amplify and extend to everyone here and wrap around the whole earth. This is our humble request that we make now in love and gratitude. Please allow yourself to continue to sense and feel what is here for you. You're welcome to record it down if that supports you, or send it to me in a message. I have another minute or two of really allowing you to stay in this beautiful sanctuary of reflecting on what you know it's time to release and let go of. And then I really feel it would be nice, Jacqui, for you to offer some shares. I think it would be really nice for all of us to witness one another. For those shares, if I can invite you to speak for 1 minute or two and keep it brief, and allow yourself to speak and declare this. If you are finding it challenging to release or acknowledge what you know needs to be let go of, I want you to confide that in us so that we can shower you with our love and support. Raise of hands who'd be willing to support another woman here today to back her knowing and let go of something that is not nurturing and serving her. You, beloved, are surrounded by women who genuinely care for you. Jacqui, I'm going to be silent and just invite forward. If you would like to speak with Jacqui, please raise your hands. I'm going to mute myself for a moment. Jacqui, you're just on mute, beautiful one.
Thank you for telling me kindly.
I am here for you, and I'll keep my mic on for such matters.
Yeah. Mag, would you like to speak? I'll go to you, Pamela. Do you like to speak? You've just got your hands raised, so.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was muted. It's Marg.
Oh, would you like to speak, Mag?
Well, I am, aren't I? So I guess I do. Yeah, a lot's been coming. What I want to release is the feeling of being too much and not enough. And because just lately I've been overly sensitive, and also receiving sort of what I could class in this state of mind as sort of rejection or judgment and that. So I want to stop focusing on that, because that's just a perception, and I'm up for other ones. Thank you.
We're supporting you, Marg.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes. Hell yes to letting go of the projection of too much and not enough, which is absolutely impossible. And therefore, my favorite word, fuckery. Absolute fuckery, Marg. Thank you.
Thank you, Mag. Jessica, would you like to share?
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Well, I wasn't raising my hand to share. I was raising my hand in salute, and then you said, "Oh, your hand is raised," and I went, "Well, my hand is raised, so just own it for a second." Hello everyone. What a really special space. I am in the Northern Hemisphere, so I'm experiencing right now the longest day of the year. However, it has felt very wintry to me personally, and my experience has been that although we are in this growing season, that my garden is actually empty. And I have spent the last couple of months deep cleaning and coming just all the way down to the soil and deciding in a much more pristine way what and who is invited into my garden space. And so what I'm letting go of is, and I don't know if I have the perfect words yet, but that the appearance of being a light worker the way that Lysa just spoke about being actually a death worker is that I'm coming to that realization for myself as well, and how close I am to death, even as I'm working with healing and light and recognizing this at a very deep visceral level. So perhaps what I'm letting go of is the appearance of what I was supposed to be, and allowing myself to be more multifaceted and unknown and mysterious, and not being able to put it in such a labeled bottle of who I am, to let it be mysterious and unknown as I change and as I age. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I feel that dismantling and rebirthing too. So welcome. Thank you so much, Jessica. Sarah, do you like to share?
Yeah, that was unexpected. The tears just organically kind of came rolling down my cheeks, because my intention was really clear to let go of nursing as I know it. But what also came through was the relationship with my sisters, which I've known, you know, like it's just been, it's not ever going to be the same now. And it's really hard to kind of sit with that, and the not knowing of what it's going to look like, or if there's going to be a relationship there when we've been so close. So it was really interesting to just be with that, and yeah, I don't really have, and that's rare for me to not have the words to communicate. So I'm just going to shed the tears for a bit.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank
sister.
you.
We see you, Sarah. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacqui, for hosting those shares. I really want to acknowledge each of you for the bravery to really allow us to hear you. And just raise your hand if someone's spoken to something that was really alive and present for you. And I really want those women to see that you're so heard and you're so very felt. And so I want to kind of inspire you. One of the, fortunate blessings of my life is I've been rebirthing for such a long time. I have died many a death. Can you believe I'm an ex-Mormon? Can you believe that I had a world politics degree? I mean, there have been iterations of me that I have just laid and just burnt and just danced naked around. And if anyone has ever heard the adage that I am the fruit of many deaths, I know that is true for all of us. I honor all of the dying and the releasing and the letting go that you've done in your life. In business, it's a little bit different because we are engaging with our livelihood, our public reputation, and our identity. We are engaging with some of the most sacred, sensitive, enduring aspects that there are. The way that we work and serve is how we be in the world and how we're known under the light of the sun. So for those of you who know Natalie Cutler-Welsh, who's pictured here on page 3, you will know how fast this woman goes. You will know that she's extraordinary and she does many things. She leads the Collab Club that I've been a part of earlier this year, and she supports anyone who is looking to make extraordinary impact. And honestly, over the last few years, has started doing so many things to help so many people. She hired me to help her put things down. She's like, please support me to put something down. We put down about 75% of what she was doing. And she is now more highly referred. She is earning now while doing less, and delivered her first high-end retreat by focusing on extraordinary impact. Something about who I am that has died so many times. I can see very deeply into women and what they love the most, that is most highly sought after, that they are appreciated for the most, which is very challenging to see on our own. So Natalie has really allowed herself to rebirth in her business. She hired me at the end of last year in about September, October, and has not looked back. So I want to encourage you that there will be a strong, dominant, fear-based voice that will tell you, if you let this or that go, doom will ensue. And I'm here to say that's not true. It's just doom to the old version of yourself. And she's had her time. She's had her time in the light, and there's a new version waiting to erupt and come forward. So now we are going to bring forward our item that represents our intention and what we're seeking to call in. We're going to place it on page 4. And I'm here as a reminder of your knowing that our dreams and desires are what is calling and inviting us into the expanded version of ourselves. These longings unite us with the path that is meant for us. For some of you who don't know, I've been a student of the I Ching, the Chinese Book of Changes, for over 8 years now. I've done hundreds of professional readings guiding women in business to honor their true nature and follow this path of letting go and regenerating into the new. And it's already calling to you. Do you know that I have had people that come to me for a rebirth, and what it comes forward as their genius and their area of expertise, they'll say, oh my gosh, there was a woman who asked me for that last month and I turned her down. Always in the death process, there are open doors, and it's very challenging to learn how to train our heart to see them, because our eyes will go, no, 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 I don't want you. You're not what I'm doing. And so for me, it's this masterful ability to witness the crumbling, which takes a bit to hold how that feels in the body, and to keep my heart eye really open and perceptive. And lo and behold, as soon as something has finished incinerating and is in ash, lo and behold, something will come forward. Raise your hands if you have experienced this. Remind your sisters that it is true. I know that we know, but you will doubt that right now because you're in the next one. Who doubts the next one? Let's laugh at ourselves. We always doubt the next one. Lysa Black does not, because I'm so deep down this path. I get really excited and juicy about letting go because I know what's going to come forward for you. So this is your time. As I go silent, you are going to feel into what it is time to welcome into your business. I would love to share Liz's story with you. She is a bookkeeper up in Whangarei, and in her 3rd year of business, she hired me because she had very challenging situation in her personal life, which is often what happens. People who are facing a lot come to me because I can bear a lot. And while she had her own court case going in the background, she set an audacious goal to really turn over 100,000 in her 3rd year of business. And she was trying to help everyone. She was being nice and loose with her boundaries. And she invested in me because I have what we call fierce grace. I'm very soft and compassionate, but I will say it how it is and hold people to account when they are not honoring themselves. And I got the declaration as soon as the financial turned over. I got the report in that Liz had turned over that 100,000. She couldn't see it though, because it wasn't showing up on Xero because that was outside of GST. And I said, no, 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 add GST because we turned that over. And she realized she had turned over the 100,000 if she included GST. Having the eye to see is very important in this rebirthing work. I want to invite you to really sense within and feel what is coming in. This will show up as a desire, a yearning, a recurring dream, a comment or a reflection from a friend or a client or a family member. I'm going to be silent as you remember, sense, and feel it now. We will take 5 minutes to do this. There is another minute here for you to record down. Thank you so much for listening to yourself, for paying attention to what you can sense, feel, hear, know, and remember within yourself. If you would like to type into the chat and have me witness, I would so love to witness what you are inviting in, welcoming in, ready to receive. Doing this as a community strengthens our resolve. There's something about women's devotion to living from the heart and living with integrity that strengthen us when we live in a world that thrives on deception and manipulation. Unfortunately, it's created an environment where so many people are lying to themselves. We have a society that lies to themselves, an overculture that lies about so much. And if any of you are familiar with projection, projection is when someone else's lie is placed upon you and other people think that they know what your truth is and they have it wrong. And I've had a life of navigating the projections of others onto myself. And this is why co-creating Sanctuary is so beautiful. Your ability to trust, hear, and know yourself is your power. Hi, Sarah, I want to read this. You're welcoming in connection and collaboration, honesty and deeper honesty with yourself, clarity, a main high-ticket offer that fulfills what my soul clients need, more curiosity, next steps for momentum, and reminders from your angels, guides, ancestors, and soul team. Yay for the next level. Thank you. Rebecca, I'm allowing the death of the old part of me that thought I had to do everything myself in order to get the credit, in order to avoid accusations of cheating. It's time for the lone wolf to rejoin her pack. Honoring you and hearing you, Rebecca. Sarah, loyalty to the evolution of Frank in essence, loyalty to my magic, loyalty to my space, loyalty to my boundaries, loyalty to my divine disruption, loyalty to my fuck yes, and loyalty to my nose. Shimmies. I have to shimmy that out a bit. Paula, welcoming in inner belonging, connection, an open portal, honoring, honor for those who came before, my flock and constellation. There's one, I can't see when there's one word, no. My flock and constellation, my item by chance happened to be a toy sheep. Aww. Which was a work award I received this week. Oh, congratulations, Paula. You are the good shepherd. I love this. Pamela, truth, honesty, and courage, breakthrough, clarity, alignment, and success on a heart and soul level. Now is the time for rebirth. Okay. Jacqui, would you like to unmute? Because I want to be hearing this. I want to be listening to what is coming in. We are going to be taking your reflections and shares for 5 minutes. If you can be concise for a minute or two, that would be so, so helpful for us to hear as many voices as we can. If you would like to type into the chat, if you would like to express yourself and be heard, awesome. Ellie, come on down, unmute yourself. Jacqui and I are here for you.
Hello, everyone. I've had quite a powerful realization today, and I think I want to release one-to-one coaching that I currently do. I do have a couple of clients that I'm not going to let go because I'm enjoying that, but I'm releasing the guilt of not taking on any more from there. And I also want to call in more aligned, powerful, and high vibe and focused relationships, because I've realized that because of the work I've been doing and the amount of self-work I've done, it's also led me into a lot of really deep, heavy stuff all the time, and the balance isn't there. So I'm wanting to call in people that have already got really powerful structures in place and beautiful businesses in place that I can be in and participate in, and not feel like someone else, I think, said before about it needing to be my thing, like being okay with actually bringing the gift to contribute to something else, and just rebuild some confidence in that space as well.
Raise of hands if you can hear and salute what Ellie is saying, and we are supporting you in this, Ellie. Thank you so much for sharing. Jacqui, who do we go to next?
We have got, sorry, I'll just had a few messages come through. We've got Antoinette, who would like to unmute herself.
Hello.
Hi, beauty.
So I am inviting in a rebirth. I am letting go of things that don't serve me. And it's interesting, I actually had this realization 2 nights ago. And it's just my time now. I know that it's my time, and there's a lot of hard things that have happened recently. But it's my time. And I'm excited for that. And well, yeah, watch this space. And Lysa, you know how fast I move.
Oh, I'm well aware. Our love and our support is with you. Thank you for allowing yourself to be heard.
And we've got Bryony, did you want to share? I'm not sure what her internet was like, actually. Oh, oh. Karen, did you want to share?
Thank you, Jacqui. I'm assuming it was this Karen. I don't know if there's
sorry,
more.
yeah.
It's all good. I have a whole list, so I don't know what's actually going to come out of my mouth, but I really appreciated the share about loyalty. So I'm welcoming in and ready to receive loyalty to my boundaries and to feeling good enough in a more fully embodied way. So I thought I did, but apparently I don't think. Feeling good enough to receive and to receive from clients. I seem to be not feeling okay about receiving money, and it's really not very helpful. And inviting in ease and lightness of action, smooth and mutual and aligned exchange with the people I'm working with, and more of my spiritual guidance and mediumship work. That is really what I love the most. And the inviting in the idea that that could be abundant for me and for others. Yeah. Thank you both so much. Thank you, everybody.
Maybe just one more, please, Jacqui. Who might that be?
Lynn, did you want to? Lynn Horde? Yeah.
Hello, thank you. What's really become really present is I feel like an internal pressure to step into like a much greater level of self-expression, which is part of my life journey and my business journey and what I help my clients with. So there's no surprise there, but I just hadn't been fully aware that. So I'm letting go of some limitations and some internal ideas around approval and validation, and the need for those things, and really stepping into a greater level of freedom and ease and opportunity to express, my even fuller self into the world. And so I'm really excited to
Chomping that up, Lenny.
So thank you for the opportunity to voice that.
Oh, we hear you. Who would like to raise their hands and deeply support Lynn in the next level of her expression, her freedom, and her ability to welcome in ease? Know that when you support another woman in her heart integrity, you stand in support of yourself. Thank you, Jacqui, for supporting this so beautifully today and for hosting and welcoming on these shares. It's so beautiful. I want to invite everyone to turn over to page 5. And it would just so happen that Lynn is actually the next story. So you are inspiring us aplenty today, Lynn. Yeah, I've been really fortunate to work with Lynn for the last few months, and there have been a lot of tears and a lot of challenge. And if I can just get a nod, if I can share your health challenge, Lynn, just to have permission that, yeah, I just really want to talk into one point where right now and always, but it's heightened right now, we have two factors we're always navigating, which is external change, change in relationships, change in employment, change in economy, change in housing, change in our friendships. Then we have internal changes, who we're becoming, who we're evolving into, what our new needs are, what our new values are, who we now realize we are and what we are no longer willing to accept with that awareness. These two are in a constant dance. Has anyone noticed? Raise of hands if you've noticed a little bit of internal and external change. Holy moly. You're like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Oh my God. And it can turn into this. And I'm going to giggle because we have all cried over this. And I want to normalize it, that we are all in this and that it is connected. And as we have the courage to look at our own internal change, if we are honest, we will realize that it is connected to our external change. Before I share Lynn's story, in November, I had led feminine business leadership communities, over 200 people gathering every month, over 4 cities. I drove a lot. My accountant said, she's like, you had a lot of travel expenses last year. And I said, yeah, I was seeing my people. And I knew that I wanted to create community. And then in November, I got told it is time to end it. And I was like, no. And I battled it for 2 weeks. Who's ever battled the knowing? Raise of hands. Let's hold each other in compassion. Oh, you can battle it. We all know what happens. We submit or we go into more difficulty. And so I know this feeling. And so I swiftly communicated it to everyone. We grieved and we mourned what was, and it was beautiful. Lo and behold, I was guided to buy a house in December. And I moved down to Ruapehu, if you're familiar with, I'm an hour out of Taupo. Didn't see that coming. But as I honored the internal change, the external change made sense. Beautiful Lynn Horde, who is the copy queen and a friend that I deeply admire, experienced breast cancer. And on her recovery, she was able to come back into health and to wholeness, but she was no longer the same person. And her business was lagging because she was trying to be the woman that used to do well in business. Raise of hands if you've ever tried to pull off the old version of yourself. Let's laugh again. Let's laugh. She can't do it no more. She's gone. She's gone. So I said to Lynn, it is time to become who you are now in your business. And later when we talk about the business rebirth winter journey, that's a part of what we'll be doing, is taking the professional expertise and uniting it with the truth of who Lynn has become. And she's earned 20% more this year than she did last year. And I've got 2 hands raised higher for you, Lynn, because there were many deaths in that. This is the moment for you to acknowledge the dream and the desire. One of the things I know deep in my body as a child who was shamed for everything that I ever wanted and longed for, as I have permitted myself to face the resistance and receive what I longed for, it reunited me with who I really am. And that is why there is so much resistance. Who's figured this out? The reason why we're afraid of our dreams and desires is because it reflects an old part of who we are that we're ready to reclaim, but there is resistance to reclaim. So your last invitation is to think and feel and know, what are you calling in and receiving more moving forward? And type it in. I actually would love to hear this. If you can say it in 1 line, 1 sentence, please raise your hand and Jacqui will call your name out. And we would love to hear what you are prepared to acknowledge. Your Ria, please.
Go beautiful.
The part of myself that used to be flaky and non-committal and want to try everything and put myself in the door is the same part of myself that I'm ready to pursue, because I realize that I don't have one purpose in life, and that my purpose is to try everything and take all the things from my past lives that I were fucking amazing at and turn it into this absolute vortex of purpose and serving. And I'm really excited.
Oh, raise of hand. Oh no, wait, do it with me on the camera. Or heart, that's good. Heart Rhea, if you can support her in that. Thank you so much.
You were a diamond, Rhea.
Yeah, felt it in my
Sarah, please come in.
I literally resonate massively with Rhea as well. I was like, holy shit, speaking my language. So yes to that, as the fiber optic Christmas tree and all of the ideas going, ah. But I literally wrote money with ease for my magic.
Clapping loudly, hearting that, hearting all over that. Let's have one more, please, Jacqui.
Would anyone like to share? Or I can read one.
I can.
Yeah, please, Sarah.
So I wrote down calling in love, devotion, travel, and abundance.
We are deeply supporting you in that. Thank you for declaring it. I would love to take you within yourself. Your courage today to acknowledge what is dying and what is old and no longer fit for purpose within you or around you. Your courage to acknowledge what you long for, what you're welcoming in, what you desire, and the calling. If you want to set yourself up to lay down or be on the floor or a bed close by, or you're comfortable where you are, we're going to go into a guided meditation together. And I was giggling with Jacqui because my purpose is to never know what I'm going to do next. And still to this point, I don't know what we're doing. And yet I know to proceed. And I want to be transparent around that, because this is one of the keys to rebirthing, is to acknowledge the tandem nature, as we said before, between nurturing and withholding nurture, knowing and not knowing. So if you want to settle yourself, get into a comfortable position, and for the next 5 minutes, we're going to journey within so that you can receive resources, insight, support, encouragement, comfort, nurture, or anything that you might be in need of that can strengthen, expand, and more deeply unite yourself with all that you are. First, come home to the breath. And allow yourself to feel the undulation and the rise and the fall of your chest as you breathe deeply in and out. If you would like to sound with your breath, I'd love to invite you to do that while your mic is muted. And I'd love to invite you to hear my breath as we breathe together. Feel the resistance as you get to the peak of your inhalation. Hold your chest here and feel that feeling before you release and exhale. Every breath, you're going more deeply within yourself. Every exhale, you're letting go of what has been, any thoughts, anything that's happening around you. Deepening in, following the breath down the throat, into the chest, and landing more fully in the heart. As you breathe slower and deeper, observe how it rocks you into a rhythm, buoyancy and spaciousness. If it feels comfortable and safe to acknowledge being in your heart, in the infinite space that your sacred heart is. And you can drop into the womb if that feels more comfortable and holy and sacred for you, or drop into the very base of your spine, or stay in your third eye or your crown. Choose the place where you feel the heightened sense of consciousness gathering, and acknowledge where you are within your body right now to yourself. And from this place, I want to invite you to place your palms up if you haven't yet, and that feels supportive for you. This is a place of surrender. As you breathe and follow the breath and unite more fully with yourself, you can bask in the buoyancy and the lightness that you are. The expansive, infinite truth. And allow every breath to be a surrender and a letting it go in and of itself. I can feel and sense a great light within each of us. Notice where it's located within yourself, at the top of your head, your heart, your womb, the base of your spine. And I invite you to see the purity and the beauty of this light and allow it to expand. With every inhale, it grows brighter and more radiant. And with every exhale, we release any thoughts about what that means or what it is or why it is. And allow yourself to be lulled like on a rocking set of gentle waves as this light fills the expanse of your physical body and emits far beyond the end of your skin. Here, I'm going to invite you to be in this holy temple within yourself. And bathed in light, I'll be silent as you listen, feel, and know. Allow yourself to feel the truth of what you have remembered, what you've received, the insight that you've gained. Thank those who have blessed you and loved you, guided you, guarded you, protected and led you here to this moment. And allow yourself to record down what was there for you. when Jacqui and I were co-creating this, I really felt this impression that there was going to be a lot of light revealed, and it was really beautiful to see our own inner light become so very bright. I've written down some reflections. You are so welcome to type them into the chat. We'd love to take 3 shares if you would like to share what came forward for you. You can raise your hand. Love feeling everyone basking in this bounty within themselves. Jacqui, how was that for you? Beautiful one.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah. Pure light. Felt the light.
Where was your light emanating from most?
Well, interestingly, I don't know if you noticed when it started, I had the sun coming in, and then I looked across to see that the sun had gone, but I was still feeling it. So from where the actual physical sun had been. We've got a hand raised from Ria.
Yeah, thank you.
One of the things that came through was something that someone said in a recent like conference they attended to, and it was essentially whatever you stand for, it's better to stand so strongly in that it repels people so much that they don't like you or hate you, and that it brings in people who are so for you and so love you or your product or what you give, because that ultimately is so much better than just being sort of liked by everybody, because it doesn't really inflict any particular emotion. And yes, it means way more potential clients or people who receive you, but no one is obsessed with you, and no one is so repelled by something that you clearly stand by enough to not like you. And I thought that was quite interesting in terms of the people pleasing and not good enough feelings that come up. So that came up.
Hearing you, Ria, and seeing the intoxicating.
Great share.
Yeah, you're so concentrated in who you are. We can clearly feel what you inner stand for. Thank you so much for that. I know Laura had her hand up, but Marg, if you would like to unmic, and then we have one more share after that if someone else would like to. Antoinette is sharing, I'm 100% letting go of people pleasing, and it feels so freeing. So beautiful. Erin felt light in her body. Sarah said she was feeling peaceful and she didn't get a clear message, but she felt the light focused on her heart. Marg, I'm just checking that you don't want to share anything. That's fine.
No, because that was a supportive way to react, because it's not one of my skills to actually get into that kind of visioning, and I just accept that myself and give it a go.
Oh, Marg, I'm so thrilled. I knew that we would all have the experience that was right for us and that it would be unique. Thank you for honoring your experience. I'm so grateful. Danny is sharing, I'm so ready. I don't know how to get there quite yet, but I'm ready. Pamela is sharing, how to expand my heart and soul light and vitality in a unique way. Oh, I know that we are very close to the close, and on page 6, I want to share another beautiful story. Some of you will know her. Darlene Perks had her husband actually diagnosed with cancer, and she stood by him and supported him. But after his funeral, a couple of months were going by, and she just didn't know who she was anymore. And I felt really fortunate to receive Darlene's trust, and she allowed me to help her to see what she had been in denial about. And she reads tarot cards and is an intuitive seer. And her joy here, almost, getting to 10 months after her husband's passed, she is finally feeling like herself. I want to acknowledge the relationship between the death and the rebirth. We would all avoid it if we could. We all know we can't. But I want to acknowledge the courage that you've all had today. That one of the most challenging things we can do in this life is let go, to release. And on page 6, I want to talk a little bit about how this becomes our expertise and our livelihood. Everything we've gathered, our ideas, our experience, like Ria said, there's just so much. And Sarah's like, this is like a Christmas tree with lights everywhere. The value of what this all means to us makes it very challenging to pare back and simplify, because we think that we're more the more we accumulate. But it's actually the more consolidated, the more connected, the more simplified our work becomes, that really reveals its maturity. And Jacqui and I feel like rebirthing sisters, and we would love to preview our new business rebirth 6-week winter journey. We knew that this time of the year would have particular magic. We have less busy social calendars. We have more introverted, reflective energy, as we've experienced today. And we are inviting forward 20 people who would like to sojourn with both of us through 6 weeks of being held in a container of heart and consciousness, where all of it is welcome. And that's why these shares today, where women have allowed themselves to be seen crying and seem jubilant and triumphant, is so moving, because we don't so often have the opportunity to witness that full spectrum of what is birthing and what is dying. The connection between Jacqui and I is the foundation for this offer. And our powers combined, we want to offer you a container if you are feeling drawn to being held in this process through the bumps and the unsureness and the celebration. We want to offer it because we know that there can be so much resistance and doubt and oscillating. We can get an inspiration, and then the next day we can backtrack and renege. We can take a little bit of action, and then we can go back and doubt ourselves later that night. And this is why we've created this 6 weeks that not only has a 90-minute call every Tuesday, but also has a Facebook group with Q&A with Jacqui and I on Thursdays between 10 and 2. And why we've done this is that it's very simple what we're going to be focusing on each week. You can turn to page 8 and I'll briefly go through the topics. But this is a full permission space where Jacqui and I will be able to hold what you are shifting and changing and emerging in, both personally and professionally. I've initiated over 40 women now in their business rebirths, and I know the resistance and the fear and those trepidations, like beautiful Sarah said before. I don't know what will be once I let go of these relationships. I know what will be: more peace, more ease, more self-honor, and more clarity to pursue your sacred path. So if you want to look on to page 8, the first topic is the golden thread, connecting our personal life with our professional expertise. Lynn is a great example of that. And then really looking at the past, because the clients that have appreciated you the most are showing you the way forward. Purpose activation is the middle point, where we're going to talk into how you can see where there will be the greatest demand, joy, and appreciation for who you are, bringing in all the facets of your truth. We're going to be shedding anything that's necessary in week 4 and really backing your knowing in week 5. The last week, we really look about celebrating what you have decided and claimed. The insights revealed here at Winter Solstice, you may want support initializing and activating into your life. If you want to turn over to page 9, we have all the details there for you. The investment is $555 that will move through Heartplace Hospital. And this is so beautiful to be supporting the work of Jacqui, which is why we're collaborating and co-creating. And these funds will be moving towards helping those frontline care workers in this new healthcare initiative, as well as the movement of my work in the world as well. So if you are interested in this, Jacqui will put into the chat box a link to take you to a 30-minute introductory call with me. And this is really the beginning of the journey, where there's a complimentary 30 minutes for you to share your vision, your dream, your desire, and your needs as a woman. So often we are not met by the people, practitioners, and service providers around us. My promise and intent is that you will feel so very held in this space, that you can trust yourself more fully and truly shed and step into what is here for you now. If you feel the call and you have questions or you're unsure, please make a time. I've opened up space in my calendar from tomorrow, and we begin on the 2nd of July. So Tuesdays from 12 until 1:30. We'll be gathering, and you are all of the people that we would most love to serve first and foremost before we share this publicly anywhere else. I would love to open up any Q&A that you have around today, the business rebirth winter journey, or anything that you've heard today.
Can I just jump in? I just want to say thank you. Like, so much love and so much gratitude for everyone that's here. But Lysa and Jacqui, I know you both now. And it's magic. And I'm just seriously so grateful for the connections that I'm weaving now that include everyone that's on this call. Because, yeah, it's a wild adventure we're riding, and it's exciting. But it's really interesting, just the evolution. And I'm not afraid of death and dying. I've lived it and breathed it for such a long time in my work. It's such a dynamic difference when you really start to grieve the pieces and the parts of you, like intentionally and consciously, because we've probably done it on an unconscious level to some degree. But I had this conversation a little when we talk about the grief and stuff. It's like, imagine if people actually realize that they died every day, because in order to live we have to, our blood cells renew, our hair, all of the physical things within our body from a medical, from a human perspective, dies every day to renew us, to keep living, and to just expand that out and letting go of the fear behind that is
so well said. Look at you giving a synopsis for our Solstice Sanctuary. Raise of hands for Sarah. She is a poet. She is here as a change agent. Thank you so much for being here. And I would love to open up this time. Anyone can share any epiphanies from here, but those who need to head away, Jacqui and I would really love to acknowledge you for your presence today, for the beauty of your light, for the joy that it has been to be near you. We are so very thankful and aware that some people need to be leaving right now. Jacqui and I will stay on the call for anyone who has questions or things they want to share, and you're invited to stay with us. But a big, deep thanks and blessings for each of you who have attended today. Jacqui, how is your heart feeling, lovely?
Oh, bursting. Yeah. There's no surprise that you have a bosom, Lysa. Your heart is so big.
It's true. I look like I am. And I know all of us are incredibly generous women in this world. I know all of us are giving, have, and will continue to give a lot. May you let go of the pieces that are restricting you from receiving what is your due. So very grateful. Would anyone else like to share anything, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, or ask any questions before we close the space in 10 minutes? Welcome to raise your hand. I'm going to come over and read some of these beautiful comments. Thank you, Bryony, for being here. Thank you so much, Ellie. Such a joy.
Put your hand up, Erin, to speak.
Thank you, Paula. Lovely. Thank you, Kelly. PMAC, come on down. Unmic.
Yeah, I was just going to say the biggest insight, not completely unknown to me, but it's just similar to what Rhea said. It's that standing, being seen, and speaking boldly into the things that I know that are right. But there's still this wave of kind of nervousness and yeah, it just freaks me out. So just holding both of those kind of at the same time at the moment.
So beautiful. I know your strength, PMAC. And I really know that we anticipate loss sometimes before it is evidence, right? I really want to acknowledge for everyone that our past grief can project onto our future, and we can anticipate loss that is not real or genuine. And that's that holding of the known and the unknown, PMAC, that you're speaking about. And such crucial work for all of us right now, and in particular if we're rebirthing in our business. So thank you for your share. Our love and blessings go with you. I'm so happy to share space with you, PMAC.
Thank you.
And we've got Erin with her hand up too.
Please.
Yeah, hello. It's the first time I've seen you, Jacqui. So lovely to be in the space. And yeah, thank you for holding us so beautifully. Lysa, I met when I was in the middle of a fucking spectacular marriage fail, and I was falling apart. It was all the COVID bullshit as well. And it was like the world had changed, yes, and who am I and everything. And I remember I'd never met someone so present and so aware, and so with Lysa, this ability to hold so much, your capacity to feel and hear and witness. And I remember you came up to me and I was like, rah, this kind of like, yeah, this dark mother energy as well. And I was like, whoa, yeah. And I was like, I so felt that, you know, from you. And I just gathered in community, yeah, with other like-minded women, and we just shared so honestly the tears and laughter and everything in between. And yeah, and I feel as though I was kind of coming over the other side, and now I'm like bang into another kind of fucking, this is the biggest, you know, like this is horrible. I know I've been through it before with just this businessman now, and I know spirit saying, yep, go, nudge, push you out, but there's still all this incredible fear and resistance to being seen and to be a leader, whatever that means, because it's like you know, grappling with the leader, but then also I want to hide in the shadows. So it's that dance of light and shadows.
Love you, Erin.
But if anyone, yeah, who is thinking about you and God, the two, yeah, powerhouses here, yeah, would be amazing. I've had a rebirth with Lysa as well, and she's a beautiful, beautiful symbol. It's on my business. Well, sorry, this beautiful symbol and of me, of this, yeah, embodiment of who I am. But she's really helped me put together my my offerings as well on a one level. But I also am a teacher and a studio owner now. So yes,
thank you,
so thank you.
Your glowing words. And you'll remember I danced in front of Erin because no one was protecting her and everyone was against her. And suddenly I was just like, and just called on this fierce dark mother to really let her know that she was guided, guarded, and protected in this world, because Erin guards people, but she had no one guarding her at that point in her life. And what I love is the privilege of bringing through the medicine that is in each woman. I love that I can reflect that. I don't know how I do it. That's part of my magic. That is you too, Erin. And you've done that for me. And I'm so glad that you could be here today. Thank you for your glowing words and your example of leadership, which is embodying our truth and being that in the world, and always holding space for the part that's afraid of that. We love you. Oh, who would like to share or express something next? We would still love to hold space for any shares. I know that the people that are here now are moving through big things. We are holding you in grace. I know that time with me, as I promised and as I alluded to, you will feel things with Lysa Black that you would prefer not to. And yet it will be the thing that changes your world. The moment we tell ourselves the truth that something is unacceptable, everything changes and the way is made clear. And that is so deeply in my body, but I know that is absolutely terrifying for so many parts of us. Thank you, Pamela, for your gratitude and for acknowledging this amazing group of women. Such a joy. And Julie, thank you so much for the clarity you've given yourself. Namaste to you, beautiful Rebecca. Amy, it's so nice to be here with you, and we're grateful for your presence as well, and that you could bask in this space with us. Let go of what is restricting. Yes, thank you, Jacqui and Lysa. Thank you, Karen and Fawzi. It's so nice to have you here with us. Fawzi is such a beautiful creature. I want to acknowledge that there might be some people here who are considering whether they want to do this business rebirth winter journey. It starts in 2 weeks. And I've made daytime and nighttime appointments. So if you are thinking about it, click on the link. If you have the PDF version of the Solstice Sanctuary Guide, it's actually a hyperlink where it says click here on page 9 up above the beautiful pictures of Jacqui and I. That will actually take you to the place where you can make a booking. And it's 30 minutes. I would like to ask for your birth date, because I'm a student of the I Ching, and Jacqui and I actually have 2 of the 3 same archetypes, which is why we resonate. And one of them is fire, the lover archetype, which is why we're both from the heart. And the other is that we are both guides and we are like the wind weaving. So I will look at your energetic archetype so that I can better see you and support you if you want to join us for this 6-week journey. Do any of you have questions in regards to what that 6 weeks might be? You're more than welcome to ask me in a private 30 minutes together, but I just want to invite forward any questions that anyone might have.
And Kim has her hand raised now.
Oh, please, Kim, come on down.
Hi, Lysa and
Hi.
Jacqui and everyone. It's really weird. My camera seems to be in an odd position, but anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. It's really good to be reminded that it's okay to die, so to speak.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
took me literally,
Yes.
because I've been going through a 2-year, it feels like, about, process, and I feel like I'm potentially sort of starting to come out the other side, but it's been very intense and not something that anybody has prepared me for. Our society doesn't prepare us for. So yeah, and funnily enough, just this week, because I've been wanting to do, as you know, the business rebirth with you, and the only thing really that's been holding me back is a vicious circle of not working at the moment due to what's been going on, therefore no income, therefore not being able to. But just this week I had just over $500 refunded to me for something, and I was been saying to myself, so why did that happen? And so yeah, I'm on board if there's space. Yeah, thank you.
We would love to host you, Kim. Go ahead and set up that 30-minute.
I've done it already.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Well, I look forward to connecting with you, and thank you for being here, and thank you for talking into society not preparing us for this. This patriarchal construct has no tolerance for death and rebirth. It disdains it, and it makes us feel like we are weak and worthless if we give up, let go, or put anything down. And that is so far from the truth. For those of you who are still here, I didn't want to take up too much space with my story. I wanted to give everyone that deep inner reflection today, but I have shared my mother first. And this was 6 years ago now. Then my 2 sisters. I've asked my dad for a break this year because he was still projecting trauma onto me and just dumping really unhealthy pieces onto me. And I have let go of best friends. I have let go of a house and the connection with all of my in-laws. And I want to speak into the peace that is there when you refuse anyone that is unhealthy or unsupportive access to you. I wish someone had told me what was on the other side of letting go of those people. I genuinely didn't know, because I think it is very rare for a woman to be as self-honoring as I know we are all called to be. So I want to speak into that piece for Sarah and really convey through my face and my heart my deep grief at what you are being called to leave. It is harrowing. But what is on the other side is blessed and rich and safe. It's so safe. Please, I would love any more questions or any more shares before we wrap up from this beautiful Solstice Sanctuary time together today. Okay, I hear you, Kim. Was asking myself, what would life look like if my mother was no longer alive in person and in my head? I hear you. I look forward to time with you, Antoinette. Thank you so much. I would love to hear what's happening for you, and we'll have that privacy there. But these are the kinds of women that we're going to be communing with over the 6 weeks. So we are in for some lusciousness. Stephanie, we have loved being here with you. You are such a beautiful space holder too, and I'm so, so thankful for your space here. Lynn, we have loved having you here. You were like a star of the show, so thank you so much for being here. And our love and blessings are with you. I feel like we're all like, aha, we're going to up the ante now. Let's go shake it up, hey? Let's get some disruption happening. I just can't wait for someone to be like, what? And I'm like, exactly. Turning my heel and
lots of you. What, there's more of you? Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, self-honoring is my favorite too. Of course, we would share that. We love you, Sarah. We're so grateful. And what do you think of this strong message of death in the summer solstice? I think it is for you. I think there has been a winter in your life internally, and that this event has really given a lot of merit to that. So I am honoring what is going to happen for you as this internal winter becomes a spring as you move into autumn.
Yeah, beautiful.
Trust you to be like in some sort of polarity external, Jazz. Have loved having you here. I love you, Erin. Thank you so, so much. Maybe if we all unmute and just shower each other with thank yous. Shall we do that? Because I have so much love for all of you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Deb, I don't know you. Marg, I haven't met you before. It's so nice to have you with us. And it's been a long, long time. And I was like, when I saw your book, I'm like, I think it's been 5 years since I last heard from you. I'm so happy, Jennifer Hershey, to have you here this whole time with this beautiful little calf. Jen was a beautiful cow lover, or still is, but took care of many, many cows in her
I
time.
love it.
Love connection with
love seeing that cow.
Julie, such a joy to have you with us. How are you feeling here at the end?
Is that me?
Yes, you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm feeling good. Yeah, I've got a lot to think about. So yeah, I've written a lot down, and I will sit with it myself and work through it. But yeah, it's great. Thank you. I really
You're welcome. Please feel the softness that has been here extend with you, Julie. I know that you're a very wise woman, and I want to encourage you to be really soft and tender and go slow. Is that okay?
Well, thank you. I think I need that this week.
I felt you did. I'm like, I just tell her to go a little slower. When we're very intelligent, we can feel compelled to physically go very fast, and the opposite is what we need. Because we're so intelligent, we need to physically slow down to ground and land that light and wisdom in our lives. So thank you for receiving that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Who else picked up some of what I was putting down? I could see Lynn's face like smiling. Oh my gosh, I love you all so much. This has been the biggest Zoom that I've co-hosted, Jacqui. I know you've hosted this much or bigger.
I have, but I haven't done this side of it. So but I've loved it. I loved every second. I want to do it all over again.
Me too. I loved it. Jacqui, I
Yeah.
want to allow you to close and say what your heart feels to say. Thank you so much for supporting today. I have so much love and admiration for you.
Oh, okay, yeah, Lysa. Yeah, like my two pieces that I bought were my new glasses that I got yesterday with a new prescription, and my old glasses that are scratched in an old prescription. And I just which was really interesting because usually it'd be something quite sacred, but just I feel like the clarity, just such clarity. And I love that Deb is still here on the call, who's been a wonderful new muse, and Amy and more longer term muse. So and lovely to have Julie here from my village, and Mark from my village as well. So thank you. In meeting new people, it's my zone of genius. I love being a conduit, and being a connector. And I'm excited, like really excited, like full body inner child, cartwheels, back flips, trampoline, hula hooping, all the things.
All the things. Well, our love and blessings go out to all of you. I hope what you've received in the Solstice Sanctuary can really serve and nourish you over the coming hours, days, weeks, months, and years. Much love to everyone.